Hey guys, what's going on? I've been getting a lot of DMs lately about depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, and how I dealt with all of these feelings, especially when I was, getting sober, when I first started to get sober. So I went to treatment, I went to detox, went to rehab. I did like 45 days. My last go at treatment, I went to treatment 13 times, by the way. And I still had all my feelings. I was obviously sober from the drugs and the alcohol, but now I'm just left with me. And those are some of the hardest times because it's, I had nothing. I just got sober. I was completely broke. I had no job. I had no home except my parents' house, who, thank God, let me back, inside to live. I was homeless before that. And, all my credit cards were maxed out. I owed money to the bank in my checking account. And it was really hard to just come out of treatment and think like, oh, this is going to be easy. And, I had to deal with like the inside, like how I was feeling internally. So for me, like the biggest thing was getting to meetings, doing AA. I got sober through AA. I've done a lot of Narcotics Anonymous, also great program. But something about Alcoholics Anonymous just really, I don't know, stuck out to me, and just the feel of it, the vibe that I got there. Also, I knew all the people in the rooms that I was going to before I got sober, so it was just like a good fit for me. And I was told right away by my sponsor Tommy, make 90 meetings in 90 days, and that's what I did. I went to multiple meetings a day when I first got out of treatment because I had nothing else to do. I didn't have a job. I was going back to the gym, for MMA to train, but I had nothing else to do. So I went to meetings and I learned how to live sober, And my addiction comes out in all other ways. Gambling, instead of doing drugs and alcohol, I'll gamble, or I'll sex stuff, or eating, exercise and training. I was addicted to exercise. It could be a host of different things. And for me, like being in the meetings, being in the rooms, and, being with other people, other like-minded people going through the same things as me was like monumental. Like I didn't know how to live. So I had to go and learn from people who been there and done that before me, how to deal with my feelings, cope with feelings, and to move on without having to use drugs and alcohol to cope. So my dog, Pacino, he's a bad boy, my dog. Sorry about that. But, through those times, it's still really hard. Like it was so easy for me, if I wanted to go back to drinking and drugging. And, but I knew where that would lead me. So I just decided to keep trying and taking suggestions, like listening to other people who, dealt with these things. So that's what I did, man. I got a sponsor. I went to meetings, and slowly but surely, things started to come together for me. I got back in the gym. I started training again. I ended up getting a job working at one of the gyms that I work at, Church Street Boxing. I got a job somewhere else. I was teaching private, so I started making money again, teaching classes, getting into a routine. That also helped me a lot. It was having a routine, waking up in the morning, drinking water, taking my supplements, eating properly, drinking a coffee, going to my first training session, then going to work, then going to my next training session, going to work, and then maybe even training again at night. And then, of course, meetings. Had to stick a meeting in there at least once a day, sometimes twice a day. Literature, reading, the big book or daily meditations. These are all things that, I was able to utilize to keep me sober, And another big thing was obviously being able to call people. So having a network of people that are also sober, trying to help you, family, friends that know what you're going through, being able to reach out to them and say, hey man, I'm really going through it right now. What do you think? And usually, when someone talks to you, like you usually, like for me at least, I start to feel better. And, feelings are feelings. They come and they go. You might feel one way. 20 minutes later, you could completely forget about what you were just going through and you'll be doing something else. So, not acting impulsively, something that as addicts and alcoholics, we need to learn to do, control, self-control, self-will, and, living in the moment, being present, like also really something that I still deal with terribly. I have a hard time with is being present. I'm always looking at the future, thinking about the past, and that kills me. Like, especially with fighting, so hard to just not look at the future, what's to come, especially when things aren't going your way, you're having ups and downs. All you want to do is get the next fight, get the next contract, whatever the case may be, but that's life in general for anyone at any kind of job or going through anything. You're always looking at the future because you want better for yourself. So, but you can only control what you can in this moment. So that's all you can really do is stay in the moment. So my advice for anyone that's newly sober, dealing with depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, or even if you're not an addict or alcoholic and you're dealing with these feelings, seek professional help. Take suggestions from people that have been there. Self-help groups, therapy. Talk to your friends and family. Don't keep everything inside. Work through it. And over time, in a week or so, maybe even less, or maybe longer, you'll probably start to feel better. Keep busy. Work towards a goal. These are all things that I try to use to, feel better. Even if I'm in the moment, like, I'll go for a run. I'm not feeling good. All right, I'm going to go blow some steam off. Go for a run. Go for a workout. Shadow box, whatever it is. Just to move a muscle, If you're not feeling good, move a muscle. Usually it helps you cope with your feelings. So that's my tips to anyone dealing with anxiety, mental health issues, depression, suicidal thoughts. I used to get suicidal thoughts. I still do till this day. I deal with it regularly, and I think it's almost normal, especially nowadays when 2024, like being suicidal is probably like a normal thing. I know that sounds crazy and I'm probably wrong, but for me, that's how it feels, and that's just how, the things I deal with, that's how I feel. So don't take anything I say literally, but those are just my opinions. So, but seek professional help, get help from a therapist. If you're sober, newly sober, go to meetings. That's where the magic is. Do the steps. When I did the 12 steps, my life changed. And helping others, that's the biggest thing you can do. Be of service, do God's work, help other people in any capacity. And I think that you'll start to feel better about yourself. Thanks for listening.